What's up, everybody? Let's play with some toys. It's time to play some video games and play with toys at the same time. This is Starlink Battle for Atlas. I should probably go full screen. Let me do full screen a little bit before we actually jump into this game. We can show you some cool toys. Let me know if everything looks okay, sounds okay. Because we got toys. We're actually not going to be playing with the toys specifically today, which is fascinating. And we'll get into that in a second. But, full disclosure, obviously all of this stuff was sent to us by Ubisoft. Thank you, Ubisoft, for making Starlink Battle for Atlas available for review and streaming. And I not only got, we got two boxes. We got the Switch version, we got the PlayStation 4 version. Michael Damiani drove all the way down to grab the Switch version and then played it voraciously over the weekend, and got the footage and the script and everything to me yesterday, and we were able to, I stayed up late last night, and we were able to publish our Starlink review. Damiani's review is definitely focused on the Switch version. He's a big Star Fox fan, and so he really approached that from the perspective of being a Star Fox fan. And the game is not out yet, I believe. Hogue, thank you for that 18-month sub. The game comes out soon. I actually do not have the date in front of me. It might be tomorrow, it might be the next day. But the game comes out this week. But today was the embargo, and we can stream it. And I'm not going to start from the beginning, but I'm also not going to get into story nonsense today. I'm just going to be taking your questions about the game, and I'm going to be flying around the planet you start on that I have not finished. I have finished a second planet, but I've not finished the first planet. And so I'm going to be going around picking up some stuff I haven't done, finding some things, explaining some things. So here are the ships. So I got this ship, which I primarily use. Would do well to actually, say the names of the ships. Of course, you get your poster, with everything that you can use to chart your progress of buying everything. So we're starting with the Lance. This is my favorite ship. This is the ship I've been using. I think it looks cool. It is also piloted by a character named Hunter Haka, who I'm like, yeah, Hunter Haka, he's my guy. So Hunter Haka and I have been spending the most time together. But we also got this ship, which is piloted by Judge, who is a cluster of aliens that are all living in one suit. And they all, communicate to each other and stuff. And the discovering of Judge is kind of like what kicked a lot of our space exploration stuff off. And then we have, what's his name? Razor LeMay's ship, I believe. It's got the skull on the front. The ship actually kind of looks like the ship from Beyond Good and Evil 2, a little bit. I kind of get those vibes. It's kind of hard to tell what's the front of the ship. This is actually the front of the ship, sorry. And then here is Razor. Wait, where is Razor? There she is. So there we go. Got them. This is the ship that comes with the pack with Mason Rana, who's a bit of an annoying protagonist, but so here's the main ship that you'll see, Starlink, that you'll see from all the advertising, and there's the pilot. So he also came, that ship I don't believe came with the Nintendo version, but Mason came with the Nintendo version as a pilot. And then, I talked about them, and then I got an extra character, which is Shade, spelled S-H-A-I-D, that is, one of them, stealthy ninja, got the knives there, but definitely a big intel gatherer. A lot of times when we're discovering some black market stuff in the story, Shade comes in with her 2 cents about everything. But what is fascinating about this game, it's in the bag, I'm not going to break it out, but there is a doohickey that everything attaches onto, and not only do you put you put the pilot in there so you can choose your specific pilot, you put the ship on top of the pilot, but each of these guns comes off, and so they sent me lots of guns that I can attach onto the wings, and they have different power-ups and stuff like that. But what is definitely worth saying, what I think is fascinating, we touched on it briefly in Damiani's review, but I think it's very interesting, is that you can get this game digitally and you're fine. You don't have to have all of these things. The bonus that you get from actually purchasing these, in some instances, is access to these characters or weapons before they're available in the game. So if you haven't met a character, I don't think they join your team yet, but you can, if you own that character physically, you just pop it on and then you can jump into the story with them. But otherwise, you can access everything digitally, and that's going to be how we're doing this. So I think that's pretty cool. The PC version of Disney Infinity had a code system, so you'd still have to buy the figures, but you could type in a code, and then you wouldn't have to manually put them on the base every time. But Yeah, it's been a while. Also, it's extremely windy in Southern California today, so my allergies are blowing up. So apologies for that. But yeah, so again, we're not going to be doing any really story-specific stuff. I'm not going to promise now that I'm going to be streaming for 2 hours. I'm just going to, answer some questions and run around, and we'll see what we get to. Audio is out of sync a bit. I did test before, and it was perfect. So sorry if it's out of sync a bit. There's no way I can test that. I can't watch myself talking on a stream live. So, sorry. Did several tests on top of tests I had done before in my last stream, and all of them were good. So let us continue. I am enjoying this game. What's interesting, in Damiani in his final paragraphs, he said this game is repetitive and has lots of little issues. Some audio bugs, some weird voiceover stuff he didn't really mention. Like people start talking every now and then, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, you might notice this now when I load up the game, like someone will start talking to me, and it's like, I'm not near anything. Who is that? So there's some weird issues, a lot of repetitive dialogue, and just lots of little things where you encounter something. Nobody talking? No. You encounter something and you think, oh, I'm actually on a totally different planet. I should bail on this planet. I'm on Sonatus now, but we don't want to go to Sonatus. We want to go to Haven. So let's get out of here. And again, just like No Man's Sky, you just fly over there. I think you can fast travel, but let's fly in space before we go to Haven, just to kind of show you. Boom. Now we're out here. For those of you who played No Man's Sky, you're probably very familiar with doing this. You just press it once. You don't have to press any other buttons. And, probably dodge those asteroids. And some pirates are probably going to try to tag us on the way over there. Whoa.
Warning. Incoming Legion
Yeah, see, there it
hyperspace
is.
trap.
Oh, it's getting really small. Whoa. Oh, recover.
You there, whoever you
All right, fine.
This sector is restricted. I regret to inform you, my drakes will never
So again, you can, not only do you have access to the ships, the pilots, if you play just digitally, you also have access to... I gotta get out of here. I am getting destroyed by these dudes.
Not good.
Yeah. I'm gonna respawn somewhere else. Sorry about that. Got taken out right away. I am playing on a PlayStation 4 Pro. Again, the game was reviewed for us by Michael Damiani on the Nintendo Switch. I don't want Sonatus, I want Haven, man. There we go. Weird, I don't know why I don't know if I'm just near Sonatus and that's why the pirates are especially pushy.
Warning.
See, there we go.
Incoming
I'm used to these
Alpha
purple
hyperspace
ones.
trap.
And maybe they get more difficult. I think there's like 2 of them, and then if you get through them, you're fine. No!
Looks like it's our lucky day. Hand over whatever electrum you've got. Going in for another attack.
Yeah, the red guys are freaky. These guys I can probably take out. Yeah, level 5 dudes. But yeah, it just kind of shows you this, the game is difficult. There's lots of random stuff that happens, but yeah.
This one ain't worth the trouble.
Again, I could fast travel to get past all this, but just want to show off space. The final frontier in the Toys to Life genre. Where's Haven? There's Haven. Whee! It's alright, everybody. What's up, Holy Angel? Thank you for the resub.
Warning. Incoming Legion hyperspace
Oh, more of these
trap.
scary red dudes. Ah!
Net triggered.
I couldn't have dodged that one if I tried.
Disrupted.
Okay, these guys are unavoidable. Legion Drakes. Man.
Starlink database updated.
Alright. Yeah, this is a Ubisoft game, so this is a game that you can crit path and get through in a reasonable amount of time. But if you are like me, and you go to a planet, and they give you things to do, you want to do them. And so, that's why I'm, like, terrified to start Assassin's Creed Odyssey. There we go. No, not back to Sonatas. Come on. So yeah, each time I get to a planet, and these planets are, I think, definitely smaller than any of the planets that I encounter in No Man's Sky. You can really circle one of those babies for a very long time.
Incoming Legion.
Okay, I guess I'm fighting more of these guys, unless I can dodge them. Tried.
Net triggered.
Okay.
Hyperdrive disrupted.
I guess it's a long way to Haven. Previously on all of my journeys, I've done one of those little purple walls, and then I'm there. Whereas now, this is the third encounter I've had. I guess it's just over a certain amount of space and time. Got a little shield there. So I have energy that I can spend on boost, I can spend on shield, and I can also spend on, when I am moving along the ground, I can spend on getting a little jump. That guy's tough. Okay, is that it? Okay. Back to where I was going. Hopefully that clock kicks down and we'll get there. And there's stuff to... There's okay. We're very, very close to the surface. Are you sure they're going to deploy that? Doesn't sound like it. Alright, we made it. But there is, and I'm going to switch to that. You can see in the top right, I'm switching. Actually, you probably can't because the camera's up there. But you can switch between different quests. I'll switch to a quest line that is currently not in use. That says I have to finish more of the story to continue, so. Or actually, if that's behind the camera, maybe I'll do the other. Well, I don't want that icon to be up there. Vilus, I think, or Violin or something is the planet that I haven't got to yet. So yeah, so here's Haven. Here's where we're going to be spending our time today. We're going to be doing various objectives that I have not finished yet. We will be fighting a boss that is mildly spoilery, but I think it's something that you fight a lot in the game. We show it in our review, so... so you just can kind of get a sense. One thing that's fun about this game is the rotation. So you can see that asteroid belt slowly moving up. You can see all the other planets in the distance. You can see like other ships and stuff like that when if they're close. There you go. So it is a small universe, but a fun universe. It's an open world solar system, which I've honestly never really played before, and I think that's one of the things that really impressed me about this game is there's all sorts of issues, there's all sorts of complaints that I could raise, but I've never really played a game like it, and so Tasty Candid Food hopes there will be a non-PSX meetup. There will definitely be a meetup soon. Cannot promise that it will be in 2018, but it will be soon. This was the Snowdrop engine, which I believe was also on it was several other Ubisoft games. So here, let's look at so we got this guy over here. We got to take these things out. So let's do it. I think a bunch of things are going to show up and get very angry when I start shooting this. Yeah, there we go. That's going to close up, and I'm going to have to shoot some. There we go. Mr. Ice Giant here. So you can jump. You can do a little dodge. You have probes, which heal people. And I have a little fire cannon here, and I got my Gatling gun, which I've used pretty much the entire game. Because, you know, like, I want to try different weapons up, but I'm also really curious to see how long it takes to level weapons up. And so, for my left gun, I've been swapping out a lot of elemental stuff, but for my right gun, it's pretty much just been this pew 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 the whole time. And it's bouncing off of his shield, as you can see. But I got the fire thing here, so you should take him out. Oh! I gotta jump over these things now. They give you fun little platforming elements in boss fights sometimes. Whee! And this is a specific, like, grounded mode that I am in. There's a big difference between flying and being grounded. If you give me enough lead time, I may be able to drop by. I have other appointments. Nice, okay. We will give people as much lead time as we possibly can. And then you also have this plucking mechanic, which is fun, which you use to open doors and pick stuff up, where these little arrows, I have a very gracious example of it right now, but these little arrows just have to be in this acceptable area, and then you get enough leverage to pop that out. Get some more mods there. Looks like we got a little chest here of sorts. Got some more mods, cool. And you can see, you can go to our collection. Actually, this is probably spoilers, so maybe we won't do that. As you can see, you got mods for all of the weapons, and then when stuff gets, when you have 3 or more of one mod, you can upgrade it to a better mod. So then that becomes green, and then you get 3 of those, becomes blue, get 3 of those, becomes purple. You have to level up to be able to do that. And there are a lot of mods. There's a lot of freedom to customize your ship. And obviously, you know, once you just level up the ship too, it'll gain more stats that way. But haven't been modding too much. Like I'm really, whenever I do stats, I'm always a big fan of damage. Just damage, 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 damage. And so a lot of things are like, you know, distance. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like I can get up close to something and shoot it. I don't necessarily need. And that's just the mods on the ship itself. Plus, you got Hunter here, who's got his own. Oh, I can spend a. There we go. Yeah. Buff up his main ability. He's pretty zen. He's pretty cool. Look at him. And he's a lot less annoying than the main character. Alright, let me up the contrast in Elgato, because that's been an issue for us. Sorry. Hopefully nobody will shoot me. Is that better? Blood, just give me the digits. I was up until 4:30 in the morning. I'm not the best not in the best headspace to deal with color temperatures right now. Apologies. Got some Electrum. That's basically like the money. I got some Corrupted Nova, which is worth quite a bit. So let's fly over to this recent guy over here and sell it to him. Get some money. You can see my character in the lower left there. He will animate if I'm in combat. He'll talk, obviously, and I'll get.
Cores with you. We'd be happy to purchase some if you're selling.
There's fun little dialogue moments like that where if you drive by somebody, they'll let you know what's going on. I think I made it worse. Okay, I made it brighter, so I don't know how to make it brighter without making it brighter. But I will turn that off. Whatever I did. Okay, first go into the HDMI settings and make sure the level is set to standard on both the PS4 and Elgato. All right, everybody, hang on. Yup, set to standard. No, definitely not that. That better? How we doing? All right. And then here's the planet. And again, not huge planets. One thing that's weird is this planet will decide to rotate depending on like where you're facing. So if you're like, oh, up and to the left, and then later you check, you're like, wait a minute, like so. It's good to kind of like remember lakes and like where stuff is near lakes and such. I'm actually gonna head over to this dude real quick. So as you can see right now, I'm hovering. So when I move, I strafe. And control is that way. And if I hold R1, I will blast off. And then if I move, I will move that way. Go back up to space if I want to. Planning on streaming for like at least an hour. It's 2:20 Pacific time now, and as you see, I'm going past the sun, so I'm going into the dark side of the planet. So things get darker, which I dig. And then, yeah, so I can press R1 again, and then I will drop down to the surface. Obviously, I could have done a much smoother job than that. And even just moving on the surface is really cool. Like, this ship is a little faster than the other ones, and so it's one of the reasons I like it. Because I just want to get through this game, you know, as fast as I can. But even just this kind of movement, like, I can't remember a game that did this. You know, like, this is kind of racing game speed. And it's just fun to, like, fly around a planet, fly to the next objective. I can fast travel to a lot of the places that I might be flying today, too, but I just want to give you a sense of what the game looks like, and here's a thing we can do later. A little battle going on down there, we'll get back to that. How large on average are the planets? Not concerned about the size of the game as much as the real planets. They're not that big. You could probably circle a planet in about 3 minutes total. Like, the little turbo I'm using right now, as you can see, is using up energy on the left there, so you can't boost constantly. But I'm pleased with the size, and obviously, you know, if we go out in space, you can see, you know, this is Curite, I think it is smaller than Haven. Haven and Sonatus are about the same size. Obviously, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on over here. Haven't been to. Big snow planet. Oh, and I guess you can see, yeah, like the progress. And you can see them labeled by easy, medium. Obviously, the end of the game. Over by the dark sector. These are all the outlaw hideouts, and those are tough. I have yet to finish one of those. Because you have to take down, like, a general, and they just whoop my butt. And even though that I'm level 9 and that's level 7, I think this one's level 6. Oh, no. I faced one that was level 6. Yeah, those are... I need to level up a little bit more before I do those. So... It's neat. It's kind of reminds me of World of Warcraft, where like the difficulty in the terrain is kind of like, can I fight this? Oh, I can't. Okay. So a little bit of testing there.
Oh, hi. Sorry if I seem distracted.
So there are
being
different.
the most brilliant mind this side of Andromeda.
I know, you're so smart. So there are observatories and there are refineries. Observatories will scan the area, will let you know what's going on near this observatory. When you open up your map, you can see different icons and different types of vehicles and stuff like that where they're flying around. Any local wireless 2-switch inputs or online multiplayer? There's no online multiplayer, but there is co-op. I do not know if there's co-op on the Switch. I have not played this on Switch. I have not done co-op here on PS4, but I believe in their... I think it was the review guide that they sent us. Said, and remember, co-op. How do you scan everything on the PS4? Do you need some scan pad or something? There is a USB thing that plugs in that snaps onto the controller. Locks on right here. You put the figure on that, you put the ship down on that, and you attach the guns to the ship. I am playing digitally, though, so we'll get back to you, sir. So all I need to do is just go into here and select whatever. And that'll change that, so I got my ice gun now. And then I have access to everything. I have access to... I think everything... oh no, I can change pilots, too. Got access to all the pilots. Actually, this is one pilot I don't have in person, and then this guy's really cool. I'm going to keep Hunter Haka, though, because he is leveling up. I played a little bit as Mason, got him up to 7. So, yeah, you can change your pilots, you can change your ship, and you can change your guns. So... you have access to everything. It is truly the main investment, the main reason to get these toys is because they are cool. And if you're a kid, it's neat to have. I wonder if they sell like little stands, so you don't just have the ship standing, but I can like put it on something that'll make it stand up and look cool. But if I was a kid, I still am a kid in many ways, but if I was a little one, I would destroy this game. I would be very, very obsessed with this. This is the type of game you can spend a lot of time with, and I think I might. I think I might just kind of chip away at this game, kind of similar to Assassin's Creed Odyssey for the rest of the year, and just kind of jump in and. But I'm very curious. Yeah, I saw a tweet from them today where they very much stressed the digital version. They were like, remember, you can get this game digitally. You do not have to get the toys. And I wonder if that was really the case all along, or if that was something recently where they were like, okay, Toys to Life is kind of taking a hit. Let's be a little more smart about this. Let's get the word out, especially with fans. But I mean, fans of Star Fox. But if you are fans of Star Fox, you're probably going to want to pick up that box because you get a cool R-Wing. And it's really interesting what you can do where you can take all of the weapons and the technology that they implemented for Starlink and then add that to Fox. You can use the standard Fox guns, or you can, swap stuff like that out. So, as I said, there's these observatories which scan the planet, show you stuff that's on the planet. There's also refineries that churn money, and kind of like owning a property in a tactics game, they will, every now and then, I think like 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you'll get a bunch of Electrum or cash. You can see I have 2.4 million Electrum because I'm just barreling through this game. I'm not spending a lot of time worrying about leveling stuff up. Did you have fun building the LEGO Dimensions figures? Definitely. Every single one of them. I very much enjoyed. But these things can be leveled up two times to level 3. And obviously, if you level up observatories, lets you see farther. If you level up refineries, that means that they'll make more money for you. And there's 3 ways that you can do that. I can just straight up upgrade this with money that I have. I can spend my hard-earned cash on leveling it up. Here, I'll do that. You can see what happens.
Increase our visibility.
Do you have to buy the ships, or can you build the ships in game? You don't. You're modifying them in game. You're not building them. And when you get them in person, they're ready. They're ready to go. They come out of the box like this. You just have the guns that you can take on and off, and the pilots that when you put them on the ship, when you put them on the base, go into the ship at the bottom. So they sit like that. But like I said, if you are not interested in owning any of this, any of the toy stuff, you can just pick the game up digitally and you're set. Or I can deliver items, and you'll see by the number 10 by Fangbank's Conservatory, as I just drop stuff in, it ups that meter. So this is just resources that I found out in the environment, and boom, I've given them enough of that has leveled them up. I can also go do quests for them. How good is this game as an RPG? This game is pure action. There's not a lot of RPG going on. There's a little bit, I would say, experimentation in the weapons. So there's, lots of different types of weapons that you can have here. Lots of different performance weapons and lots of different elemental weapons. And this guy's fun, I think, because the imploder, you shoot, and here, I can show it to you. You shoot, and it leaves a circle, you charge it up, boom, and then anything in that circle gets messed up, and then if you attack that with an elemental weapon, it'll turn that into ice or fire. And again, if I'm done with that guy, I can just go back to my other guy. And you get a little sound in the actual controller when you switch that over. It's just a little bit of tactile joy. Moshpit 3000, thank you so much. So far, AC Odyssey 1 shares one aspect with the surprising franchise Leisure Suit Larry of all things. Thoughts? I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I have not started Assassin's Creed Odyssey yet, but I'm very much looking forward to. I like that these shiny objects that you can see in the distance, they are the stuff that you can... So this, for example, is a metal. You can see when I pick up in the left there, whoop, that goes... It is a common material, so I can carry 1 of 50 metals. And then here's a little bit more of the system I was showing you earlier, a little tug mechanic. So the organic stuff is the stuff that I sell to observatories. They're more science-based. That's what they're researching. But obviously the refineries are interested in core and ore and stuff like that. So that's what you sell to them. But let's do a quest for this dude. Let's make some money.
Finally, and until when the Legion went dormant,
destroy this Legion squad while it's still dormant. The Legion squad will reactivate when
any
new primers on
time.
the planet.
Do something.
All right.
They don't stand a chance.
Excellent. If we don't do it now, we'll have to battle them when they're awake.
Destroy the Legion squad. Where are they? Oh, are they like around me right now?
You're close now.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
Strike
yeah.
quickly and they'll be unable to respond.
So again, here's a fire cyclops that is not being affected very much by my weapons, but whatever. I'm just kind of brute forcing my way through it. I think when you get into bosses that have big elemental weaknesses, it's smart to shift, but like standard enemies, like,
My technicians will feel
that
a
big of
lot
a deal.
safer doing field
hey,
research
no problem.
now.
And I
Thank
got a
you.
couple of little chests here.
Will prevail.
Get some fun items. Again, you're just always earning mods, because again, you can upgrade them. The more mods you get, the better mods you can create out of them. So there's this one thing, you know, different character, different voice for each little outpost, and their stuff gets repetitive, but again, if you're in the mood for doing repetitive stuff, you don't really care. Yeah, I do get a Katie Seagal vibe. That's funny that you bring that up. The mom on Married with Children, and of course Leela from Futurama. And you got these little hives. These hives are rough because they spit. These guys get angry and they come flying out. They're all ice imps, yay! They're not going to like my little fire explosion.
The bigger they are,
One of the other things too, as long as I can get mildly critical of this game, when you actually put the ship on the controller, it is not that comfortable. I don't know if I just have like giant hands, but the bottom of my thumbs scrape up against the bottom of the ships, and so I played this game with the ship on it for about an hour, and then was like, okay, that was fun. So kudos to the team for not making that something that was required. So. And there's a lot of random stuff. Again, this is just like a random imp hive that are floating around. You have these dudes which are working for the observatories and the refineries. So you can talk to him and be like, hey, what's up, buddy? And he's real excited. He's nothing to say? Well, fine, Builder Jams. But they actually physically go out and harvest stuff. Like, I've been harvesting things, and one of them has come up next to me and grabbed something and taken it back. So that is where you get the your money and your bonuses from unlocking those and being friends with them. I believe they also become... they also just basically help you clear up more stuff on the planet. Oh, and then there's one of these guys. So I've just been having a good time just checking these things off the map. You know, just like booting up the planet. Honest opinion, do you think you will have a chance to win this year's podcast bets point-wise? Interesting question. Yeah, I think there's always a chance. I wouldn't count on it, though. I'm not optimistic. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, let me put it that way. But yeah, I do think there's a chance. I like the water ripple. I like the way water looks when you're riding on it. So these are fun. These are also in the world. You just hack them, and then you don't. You just got to stay in this ring for the hack to maintain, and then some bad guys show up, and you blow them up. But it's like, do these kind of activities, put on a good podcast, a good audiobook, maybe that Netflix documentary you were always thinking about doing, The Toys That Made Us, or the 90s just popped up on Netflix. If you're like me and you were a teenager in the 90s, it's fun to go back. You're like, ah, yes, Friends. Ah, yes, Frasier. Good times. Ice Cyclops, Ice Flops. What about some JoJo? Oh, definitely. Well, no, because JoJo's the best with those subtitles on. So you don't want to be, you want to be focused on JoJo. You don't want to. JoJo's not for the background. You need to give JoJo your full, undivided attention. Will Red Dead Redemption 2 have a meaty review like Bloodborne Sports review? I can't imagine any kind of Red Dead review that is not meaty. I think meaty is the way to do that game. So yeah. This is like Spaceship Destiny. Yeah, it's a bummer this isn't like more multiplayer vibes. That would be a fun thing to do in the sequel, actually, to have 4 players running around this map. Make the maps a little bit bigger. So you had that little thing that kind of looked like a little red mountainous poop or something. You can see him up on the horizon on my mini-map. I'm approaching another one now. So the red ones are those little decoy things that you gotta blow up. And then there's these, which are little like... no, stop. Which are little like areas with stuff in them that you can pick up. So like this cockpit. I can't fly while I'm carrying it, but refineries like this, so I could drop that off to a refinery and they would be very happy. But each of these areas that is white on the map is identified by at least one of these, which is a piece of salvage or something. So now you can see the... boop. and a lot of the items that you pick up will naturally gravitate toward you, which is very convenient. Fafari just subbed. Thank you, Fafari. Oh, we're getting media reviews. Yeah, my Spider-Man review was slender because I didn't want to spoil a lot of stuff, and I felt a lot of the missions in Spider-Man past a specific point are very spoilery, and because it's a map, and a relatively shorter map than what obviously is going to be in Red Dead. I just thought that didn't want to spend too much time going over and over the same things, and so. Whereas Red Dead is, 10,000 crazy things all at once. And so I think I can show a little bit more gameplay from that game and not necessarily be as spoilery as it would be with Spider-Man. And this is a rare mineral, which is super dope. So I'm going to take this to a refinery that needs to level up just like this guy.
Reminder, rare mineral samples are highly sought after by refineries.
So when you're carrying something in front of you like this, you can still shoot. You can still shield, I believe, yeah, but you can't fly. So there are obviously some challenging missions that are like, wait, there's some areas that you go into where you can't fly in that area. Again, going into the darker side. We're in nighttime now. See, got some
nice looking mineral ore you got there. Come down and visit me if you'd like to deal. Welcome back, partner.
Cool.
Hey, thanks for the unexpected gift, partner. Much appreciated.
Anytime. There you go. Night Pool Refinery. Some tall trees over there. Okay. And perfect. Let's take out one of these bases. I've done 10 of 15. Let's get another one. And again, none of the stuff I'm going to be doing on this stream is story-focused at all. This is all bonus stuff. This is all leveling up my ship. This is my playthrough, so I have put in, I don't know, maybe 6 hours in this game? Maybe? Something like that. I've discovered 3 planets. I think they're directing me towards the 4th planet, which I have not been to yet. Just like Destiny, a lot of the enemy types are very Destiny, and just like that, they all have like little silly names. Darkwater, Shielded, Cyclops. And the enemies can get fairly repetitive.
The bigger they are.
But this is just not a game you're jumping into for big, crazy, elaborate, gameplay sequences or crazy story beats. It's a game to be conquered, and it's fun for me to do. If you go back, I was infamously very critical of No Man's Sky before No Man's Sky came out. Specifically, its marketing. But then once it came out, I was hooked on No Man's Sky. And I didn't really have a lot of, demands. I wasn't like, No Man's Sky, better do this. I was just like, hey, let's just fly on this world and see what's going on. Of course, I didn't review it, so I didn't really examine it with that critical eye. But I very much had fun just writing down lists of supplies that I needed and blowing up mountains to get those supplies and then building other things. And I'm sure I would love the updates. I know a lot of people are like, you should, No Man's Sky's better than ever, you should jump back in. But, so I got the ice weapon. I'm using that to blow up the little fire rocks here. This is kind of scratching that No Man's Sky itch. Pluck the vault door. Blow it open. I also appreciate so much that in the age we are in now, of the massiveness that is Assassin's Creed Odyssey and the awesomeness that is Call of Duty Black Ops 4, that all of you are hanging out with me watching some Starlink. I appreciate it. All right. So there's that. So again, that's one of those bases. They'll have a couple items for you to find. And either something to hack, which again, all the bad guys show up while you're hacking stuff. Here's my little jet that I can use to hover a little bit. Oh, and here's the chest in this area. So, more fire imps to blow up. So yeah, again, I tried out some new guns when I first started, but ever since then, I have this new ice guy that you see me using. This guy, that fire cannon, and this cannon here are all I've been using. So, The game gives you the freedom to experiment, but it is not required. You're not constantly like, here, this enemy type came up, let me switch weapons. As you can see, I kind of blasted through some dudes, like I had a fire weapon and some fire guys came up, and it's like, all right, it's gonna take longer to you know, wipe them out, but... Ooh, pro. Yeah, see you, buddy.
Uplink established. Breaching Legion memory bank. Remain nearby to
So we'll
maintain
use the
connection.
fire gun for this.
Warning.
Jones, will we get a COD
Legion
zombie stream with you, Ben, and Huber? That would be fun. I think it's more likely to get from Ben, Brad, or Huber. But I think Ben is trying to finish that review up, so that's probably why he's not prioritizing that right now. But just in likelihood, not that I wouldn't be interested in that. I love zombies. Love zombies.
Agent data received
I'm terrible
and
at it.
processed.
I don't think I've ever actually like finished a zombie map in any one of those games. Whoa, are there well, there's two things to decode right next to each other. I came here to decode this thing, and there was
Uplink
that other thing.
established.
Do you know how you earn weapons in this game if you don't buy them all digitally? You don't have to buy them digitally. You buy the game, and
Legion
all the guns are
device
there.
identified.
You have access to all the
Initiate
guns.
hacking procedure. Be advised.
I did not have all the guns sent to us. That little handful of guns I showed you at the beginning of the stream.
Warning.
That
Legion reinforcements incoming.
those were given, so if I had plugged in the USB thing, I would be limited to those guns because I'm choosing to manually swap things, you know, physically on the actual ship itself. But once you go digital, all the pilots, all the ships, all the guns, everything opens up. Which I think is cool. But again, like I said, even with all of that available to me, I'm good. I got my little ice cannon here, it's fine. I also want to like level these up, so I think the more you keep switching guns back and forth, I think you should do that with the intent of kind of finding the ones you like. But the more you use weapons, the more they level up, the more mods you can gain, put on them, the more faster their fire rate, you know, the more damage they do. So I want to stick to the same weapons because I want to level those up. So then how do they incentivize you to buy toys, or are they not really worried about that? I can't speak for them. I mean, it is a fascinating move. I think it's smart given the climate of Toys to Life. I think it's a lot to expect people to buy everything of something. I mean, obviously, if you know, Lego is having difficulty with really popular franchises, even stuff kind of like nostalgia based, like Knight Rider, A-Team, E.T. You know, if they were having trouble selling that, if you know, Disney was having trouble selling like the Jasmine toy, I could see Ubisoft being like, no one knows who these characters are. Nobody knows, you know, what the relevance is here, you know, of these characters in this universe. It's probably a smart play to be like, hey, buy the toys if you like toys. You know, buy the toys if you want to get this for your kid, get a starter pack, and then maybe get one ship that they're interested in. Because if I was really into this and if I was a kid and I'm putting like, you know, 60, 80 hours into this game, I wouldn't mind having this thing. I wouldn't mind having this up on my shelf to remember the time that I had with that game. And I think the thing for me that even as a kid I would understand is the actual act of like, okay, let me take this gun, put it on that, put that back on the shelf, like, is, you know, not as easy as just like, boom, boom. So, I think if you want to save some time, you switch to doing it digitally, but, okay, where's the thing I need to decode? There it is. Right? Yes, over here. Nice and shiny, thank you. So even just we've been playing this game for less than an hour, you can start to see the repetition set in. Keep in mind, I'm not doing any story beats. I want to keep this spoiler-free for anybody that cares about that, but this is just a casual, let's finish up this planet stream. One of 7. I've already almost finished. There's one... there's things like you could see I was like plucking the vegetation earlier. There's one type of vegetation I haven't found on another planet, and there's one objective that's level 20 on that planet that I haven't done because that was too hard. And keep in mind, these guys aren't destroying anything, so all I gotta do is like hide from them. Like I don't have to keep. They're gonna keep spawning if I keep fighting them, but it's good to fight them to get some experience. See, Fire Cyclops still waste that dude. And this is the first planet that you're introduced to. So as you can see, a lot of these guys are level 1. This is not very challenging. I'm really just...
Hack successful. Access granted.
Then once the hack comes through, blows everything up. Repetition is the eye of the beholder, right? Easy Allies. Pac-Man is pretty repetitive, as is Tetris. The issues is always, are you having fun? Yeah. And I think sometimes we talk about guilty pleasures, and some of the allies had difficulty. I think we had the question both on the podcast and on Q&A, and I think people had a hard time describing guilty pleasures or defining them, because it's like, people are like, well, I mean, I like this, but I don't feel guilty for liking it. I think a guilty pleasure is just something that you realize you like for very specific reasons. You like because it delivers something that you want specifically as a consumer. And one of the challenges for us as reviewers is to identify what speaks to those types of people and what speaks to the general consumer, so we can communicate that in a product. You know, especially if there's something licensed, like Spider-Man. It's like, how much am I going to enjoy this as a Spider-Man fan? How much am I going to enjoy this as just a general comic book fan? How much am I going to enjoy this if I don't know anything about either of them? If I'm just into open world games and that's why I'm playing this, how much am I going to enjoy it? You try to actually think of every type of consumer and try to package your message as generally as you can. Or in some cases of some outlets, just clearly define yourself. Just make sure the reader understands, this is me, this is the perspective that I'm coming from, and therefore maybe if you're like me. These are also fun. You can pick up canisters, and you can chuck them, and they'll blow up. You can also blow them up too, so you see I got some Electrum flew my way because I caused a little explosion there. And sometimes that's fun to do. Ooh, the purple guys are yeah. Get out of here, use.
Those losers won't be back anytime soon. Good work.
Got him.
Thank you, friend.
Is anybody,
I thought of fertilizer without
hello.
your help.
Hey. Got a little organic material there. Sometimes you'll find ships that are dismantled and you can repair them. But, so this game is kind of a guilty pleasure for me. Like, it is repetitive, but I very much enjoy it, and I'm totally going to scan this bird right now. Oh no, it's a Sunstride. I've already scanned it. Never mind. But, yeah, you can scan animals, and then just that'll go into your collection. I think every planet has like 3 or 4 unique animals that you can go and scan. Boy, these things really do sleep during the day. That's funny. I never noticed that. Maybe they just do that on this planet? But, and one thing I like, obviously there's a lot more going on under the hood in No Man's Sky. So it's like, this, you know, stylistically you can appreciate that these games are similar. I think somebody who was really into No Man's Sky might want to give this game a shot. It might be, you know, might just find it amusing. But one thing that I really like is No Man's Sky is built on algorithms that try to make, you know, every planet a new planet. But at the same time, the terrain itself, like, the planets might be made of different things, but the terrain itself is pretty common. Like, just the kind of way you see buildings, that you see mountains created and stuff. And what I like about this game is, like, this type of terrain with, like, little lakes and some rivers and, like, these big like, forests with a tree in the middle, and then you see these other, like, trees surrounding that, and these little mounds of trees and, like, little kind of mushroom-shaped things. You'll only find that on this planet. Like, the snow planet has, like, kind of looks like the wall from Game of Thrones over and over again. Just a lot of, like, very tall, blocky things that almost create these big kind of labyrinths. And so, like, there was another planet I was on that didn't have rivers, it had big craters, and so you'd have parts that were like sinkholes, that you'd have like forests that were at the bottom of that. And so I just like that the terrain has a little bit of more variety, because it's not a computer that's creating these planets, it was human beings, you know, deciding how thematically can I make this different, how can I make it different actually going along the surface. And it's fun because when you drop down to the surface like this and fly around this way, you really start to notice those differences in terrain. And it's pretty fun. Where's the Lego Disney Castle now? The Lego Disney Castle is in our bedroom. And it is wonderful. And Amanda, at a party recently, went to show it to somebody and was like, hey, look what we made. And she picked it up, and the front went, whoa, and fell over, and she grabbed it at the last minute, but was like, whoa! And she's like, let me just put that back. And I think a couple things fell off, but she, like, put them back and tried to, like, put it back all together. And she's like, I thought you would notice, but I feel like I should tell you anyway, because I can't keep it a secret. And I was like, that's fine, hon. Just remember, be careful. So. I wonder if there's any, like, Lego fasteners. I wonder if there's something that you can, like, some kind of Lego plastic covering or something that you can just adhere to the outside of it and just make the whole thing. Team Mirage 3 or Team Mirage. Or Team Mirage. Team Mirage. I'm gonna put my chips on the table for Team Mirage. 4 months in a row with that sub, thank you.
Hack successful. Legion data received and processed.
So boom, there we go. What else? What do we need to do? Let's do one of these advanced extractors. Maybe we'll crunch on one of these big boss fights. So yeah, you'd think you'd fly all the time, but sometimes I just kind of like skimming on the ground and like dodging stuff. I feel like I'm in a pod racer. So yeah, these things. Which always happen around electrum deposits. So you see that 2.7 million currency I have in the top left there? That's this stuff, which is electrum. There's electrum, and then there is nova, which is a much harder to get. You can see this guy over there is shooting at me. Okay. Boom! Dodged it. So you gotta take out these things, and then that will open up the thing in the middle. And then I'll have to destroy that thing. Whoa.
Tractor's defenses are
Alright,
down.
here we go.
Shoot the tower.
There's a little spinning guy that I gotta jump over. Ooh, I might get in one shot. Got it. It's the first planet. Now this is pod racing. Boop. Plucking the core. Let's get it. So I got to do a bunch of those, and then that will open up this boss fight for the planet. The Prime, I believe they call them. The Prime. Let's go over to this base over here and see what's going on here. So just, you know, never a dull moment. You can see damage numbers are already having a little fight here. It looks like some of the outlaws are fighting some of the
Nice one.
Legion.
Those chumps will think twice before they come back.
And for those of you who wonder, what's Starlink? Why is it called Starlink? Starlink is the technology that enables you to switch out pilots and ships and guns and stuff. That's called Starlink. So, does have context within the world. That is kind of cool. You can imagine a fighting force that had that capability to swap pilots or immediately teleport or remove pilots from the battlefield. So one of the ways that you can kind of bend the difficulty of this game is if your ship gets taken out, you can switch to another ship. If you are playing digitally, or if you have all the ships owned and you are playing not digitally. Oh. Sometimes the imps jump on you. Okay. Some of these areas have. So you see now that I've gained this place, now they have guards, and when you go to another planet, the places on other planets that you've already been go under attack, which is kind of nice that I'm on the first planet, so I don't have to worry about that really now, because there's only like one other planet I've really invested in. But that's why there are guards, and so these in real time will fight off attacks, just like you were seeing. There were guards, and I mean not guards, but outlaws that were just kind of roaming around, and so Legion and outlaws will try to take this base when you were gone over time, and there are things you can do. Oh, I can actually level up right now, but you can level up defensive ops so that yeah, equip all faction allies with elemental weapons optimized for each planet, so that helps them defend each area a little bit better. Let's see, what can I do? All weapons in your collection get an extra amplifier mod slot. Ooh. Tempting. Expensive. Very tempting. Spend Electrum and Nova to clone any mod, even one-of-a-kind relics. Ooh. Electrum and Nova. Nova is hard to come by. Maybe I'll save that one. Max out your pull force to make it easier to pluck objects. That's fine. This first one. Yeah, give me more spots. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so look at that. I got another whole another slot there. So I'm not going to freak too much about mods right now. I would obviously be very obsessive. Anyone like me hate these exclamation... Well, I mean, you know, I like them because it's nice to know when new things pop up, but man, I get obsessive about these exclamation points. Whenever I see one in a menu, like, I gotta just go through the menu and do this. Be like, all right, I've seen it, I've seen it. Okay, thank you. I recognize that's a new thing. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, both my guns got it. Yeah. Okay, so what do we got here? What can we do? What can we do? Heat damage going up. Okay, don't have more of those, unfortunately. But I want damage. Ooh, 15% heat damage. There we go. Boom. Look at that. It's just damage, damage, damage. Yes. 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 Okay, what's this guy? Kinetic damage. Sure. Done. Just damage. I just like damage. Yeah. And that always feels good. Whenever you, like, come out of leveling. Games need a mark all as red, like email. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Jones, you have no idea. Prepare for Assassin's Creed Odyssey right now. I mean, I've played Assassin's Creed games before. You know, I'm familiar with that. And just open world games in general. Any collecting types of games, I'm very well versed in that type of behavior. Let's go mess up some imp hives. I love taking off like that too. It's just a fun game to just fly around, you know? It's like... It can get tricky when it comes to puzzle solving sometimes, especially in the story. Sometimes you'll have to power up certain things, or in some areas you actually do a little bit of platforming. You can see Damiani do it in the review a little bit, and because you'll go into an area where your flight engines will be disabled and you'll be forced to be grounded, and so you'll have to use that little burst. You'll have to go off ramps and like hover a little bit and land in certain places. So get out of here, outlaw.
We got a fresh one.
The outlaws are very... They love to talk back. But I'm on the first planet, so they suck.
That weapon's doing crazy damage. Keep going.
Thanks, Mason. See, you can tell Mason's a little grating. And I don't want the difficulty of the stuff that I'm doing to indicate how hard this game is. This game isn't like... difficult. I mean, it depends. You can change the difficulty, but as you can see, I've 100%ed, close to 100%. I don't know why it says 67%, but I have done almost everything you can do on Karit there. Wait, maybe? No? Maybe it was this one? Weird, that meter on the right. I wonder what that means. Maybe there's just a lot of stuff I haven't explored on that planet that I cannot explore, but I did almost everything that I could. And then we're going back to the first planet now. So not only am I in the first environment the game introduces you to, but I'm also playing after like 6 or 7 hours of playtime. So the right meter is the Atlas Legion meter. Is that Michael Damiani? So like how much the Legion is on each planet? Oh no. So 100%. Oh, 100%. Got it. Okay. And there's 0%. Okay. Got it. Okay. But I didn't want to spoil anything, and there's a lot of cutscenes and stuff like that, so I didn't want to do the beginning of the game. I thought that would be kind of slow for a stream today. And I was curious if this is something I've been tempted to do, and sometimes I'm either just too exhausted or moving on to another project, or still reviewing the game, or like wary of spoilers, but it's been interesting. It's been tempting to talk about a game on embargo day. You know, it's just like, now's the embargo, you know, I, again, did not review the game, but I received the review copy on the same day that Damiani did, so I did put a fair amount of time into it. So it seems like we got Damiani in chat, so... Cool, yeah, Damiani talked about in the review, again, I have not experienced a lot of that yet, the idea of them, like, reclaiming ground that you've already claimed. Maybe I gotta, like, get into some of the later planets for that really to start to become a problem. But I wasn't sure, yeah, how to identify that in the review, actually, Damiani, but it's good to know. There it is. On the right there. You can see how they're doing. What's the post-game like? Damiani can maybe answer that. Again, I have not... I've only just discovered Planet 4 out of 7. So I'm pretty far from post-game. But I imagine it kind of looks like this. Unless there's a lot of new objectives that pop up that become introduced. Maybe enemies that surface or things that come up. Get away from him, Ice Imp.
Under fire! Help!
What? What's the problem? Repair this dude. Hey, get out of here.
Thank you, friend. I would have been fauna fertilizer without your help.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Now I can return to my studies.
A little bit extra money, a little bit extra XP. Oh, that's gratifying. When I first started playing this, when he would attack a hive, all of the imps would come flying out of it. You'd have to take care of them and then go back to the hive. And now I can just kind of blow everybody up all in one swoop, which is enjoyable. Then there are these terraformer spires, which I have unlocked all of those. Those are very simple. Light puzzle elements, and then you unlock some mods, and they'll usually have some bad guys swarming around it that you can either sneak past or go in and blow up. Again, lots of numbers. Oh, okay, fine.
Hey there. We'd benefit greatly from some of the cores you're carrying, if you wanted to barter.
Ooh, that looked like it hurt.
Excuse me, researcher. You're in the line of fire.
Man, you flattened those creeps. They won't be back anytime soon.
Thank you, friend. I would have been fauna fertilizer without
I'm
your
upset, and Damiani can echo this, that you don't get to hear Levi during this playthrough, because I'm not doing any story-based stuff. So you can appreciate how terrible Levi is. Have you decided on a Halloween costume yet? I have. I've purchased it. It is in the mail. But yeah, Levi is just, boy, such a bad character. So annoying. It's like Vaughn in Final Fantasy XII. It's like, we need a kid, you know? We need, like, kids are going to be playing this, so we need one person on the crew to be a kid. And it's like, do you? Do you really? Do you really? You sure? You sure you need that kid? Sure you just can't give the whole project a youthful energy? Really? You really need to bring this kid? What's up, guys? Oh, that's so cool! You're like, Levi, quiet. He also wears a hoodie all the time, so it's like definite Kyle Bossman vibes. Hey, guys! Every time he opens his trap, so Kyle, quiet. And there's like character descriptions in the beginning where you find these archives of the leader of the Starlink crew talking about all of the different crew members. And when he talks about Levi, he's like, yeah, so Levi is like pretty hot on social media, and then he like stowed aboard my ship, and then like I guess he's on our crew now. It's like, that's not the origin story I was looking for. I was hoping there was another important reason you keep this kid around, other than just like, you know, I feel bad. We'd have to offload him, you know. Thankfully, he is not a pilot, I don't think. Is he? Can you play as Levi? Yeah, you can. There he is. Levi. A daredevil and thrill seeker. Levi runs headlong into danger and somehow survives. Someone who runs into danger and somehow survives? No, I'm not playing as that character. I'm playing as the character that survives in danger because they're badass.
Damage is empowering the enemy.
Or like me, they spend a lot of time in areas that are below their level. Again, these are fun. You can pick them up, throw them. Good time. It's rare that I get an opportunity. Whoop, no, gotta go that way. It's rare I get an opportunity to really do that, though. I like blast them when bad guys are near them, though. That's fun. Pew, 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 pew. So again, if you're just joining us, I am playing this on a PlayStation 4 Pro. I'm playing it digitally, which means I do not have to have any of the ships plugged in. If you missed it, this morning we posted a review written by Michael Damiani, edited by yours truly, of the Switch version specifically of Starlink. So it goes at great length, discusses the impact of Star Fox in Nintendo's implementation of that game on their console, which is... It's an interesting review, and it's an interesting thing that Ubisoft did. We were talking about kind of what that review should sound like, and I think it's such a bizarre thing to have happened. I can't really remember a game in the past, like you know, Geralt is in Soul Calibur 6, but like Soul Calibur 6 isn't like about Geralt. Like there's a kind of a precedent for how Soul Calibur has handled guest stars, whereas this is a weird guest star, and it was interesting playing this game on PlayStation 4 for 4 or 5 hours and then watching the Switch footage, and it's different. Their cutscenes are very different because they feature Fox, and there's a lot of scenes where the Starlink characters are like, okay, here we go. Oh, wait, that's right. What are we going to do about these weird anthropomorphic dudes who joined our crew? And I love driving right into one of those things. That's fun. How do we get into this guy, I wonder? In here? And then go through here? Oh, probably. Here we go. There's a lot of weird interiors like this in this game, but it's kind of fun. There it is. It's not about what I get. I'm not even paying attention to what I got from that crushing ammo mod. Great. It's about not seeing it on the map anymore. Some of you can sympathize, some of you are shaking your head. That is fine. We are all just here to fly around and blow stuff up. Lots of people were saying, should there be 2 reviews, and would the score of the non-Switch version be different? I don't know. I haven't finished it. In the best of all possible worlds, I would love it if there were 500 review employees of Easy Allies, and we could review every single game on every console, because I think sometimes, certainly PC versions of games versus console games, certainly something like the Switch, because obviously there are going to be performance issues. It's not as powerful as the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox. The portability is a factor that you just can't get from the different consoles, and so I think that can really apply to any game. It's just we just don't have the manpower. So woulda, coulda, shoulda in a lot of things that a lot of our colleagues are doing a lot of really interesting things with how they structure reviews, and we are still very confident and comfortable with our review process. But it's really been interesting to see a lot of different reviews by Polygon and Kotaku and Giant Bomb and other groups. So now the only thing that's missing is replacing Fox with Duke Nukem, all confused like. Bulletstorm, yeah. I'm sure Duke Nukem would be perfect in this game. No. Alright, fine, I'll switch back to my fire and blow you up.
Legion forces on arrival.
These guys like to move, they jump around a lot.
Hack successful.
Yeah. I love you don't have to pick the items up, they just go flying over to you. Alright. So there's 13 of 19 of those. We're on the nighttime part of the planet, maybe we should do some harvesting. Again, something else fun you can do when you're bored. Keep it in that little area. But yeah, I know it might seem maddening to some, but like I did this for an hour the other day. It was great. I literally just rode around on the dark side of a given planet and just looked for shiny spots. There's one over there. Whee! Oh, there's one. And just did this. Is there an ammo limit? No. In the middle of the screen, if you can see on the reticle there, you can see it, deplete. I can get about 3 charges until I have to recharge for that current weapon. Obviously, the mods that you add to it, you can increase the fire rate, you can increase the cost. And then this guy goes down that way, and then over time rebuilds. So, yeah, you do not pick up ammo. There's no specialized ammo you can equip that'll do more damage. Everything is the type of gun that you are using and the mods that are attached to it, and the level of that gun also. I wonder if it's hard to platinum this game. This would seem like a tricky one to platinum. I don't know if tricky in, like, there's weird kind of minigame things or something you have to pay attention to that you could possibly screw up and go past, but there's just a lot to do. You can kind of see how long it's taking me to do some of the extra stuff that I have not done yet in my playthrough, and this is just one planet, and this is just the early planet, so like maybe planets later on get harder or are bigger than this, or oh, rare material. Woo!
Reminder.
Alright, refineries like it. Does this one have more to level up? Yeah, no. I want to take it to somebody who's got more leveling up to do. There we go.
Mineral samples are highly sought after by refineries.
And again, you just leave that thing there. You don't have to do what I'm doing right now, but it's fun. It's fun to, like, off jumps, off hills, do this. You can kind of glide a little bit. Whee! For me, the most important stats are energy, so I can just do this for longer periods of time, boost and such, and damage. Those are just, like, the main things. Maybe defense, but, like, focusing on one specific element as far as a mod is concerned seems
Looks like you got some
like something
cores
I would
with
change
ya.
out 5 seconds later.
I'll buy
So
'em off you, no questions asked. Some nice looking mineral ore you got. Hello there. Production's running real smooth today.
there you go.
Hey, thanks for the unexpected gift, partner. Much appreciated.
Donated enough to this
Good
dude that he's now
quality
upgraded
ore.
to the final level.
Thanks for that.
So what's the point of the toys? That's a very interesting question, and it's an interesting question that came up a lot in Disney Infinity and LEGO Dimensions and Skylanders. I think if you ask what is the point of the toys, probably not the game for you as far as needing the toys is concerned. Because a lot of people came in and they would, like, I remember back in the day when people were curious about Infinity, and they would come into my office and they would pick up, like, Mr. Incredible, and they'd be like, so what's the point of this? And I'm like, well, if holding that in your hand isn't cool, then there's no point. You know, like, if you don't look at that and go, this is neat, like, look at the design of this compared to this. Look at when you line these characters up on a shelf. Look how cool that looks. If that does nothing for you, that's fine. To each their own. That you are entitled to your own opinion, and there are lots of video games for you to enjoy. But what they've really set, what it seems kind of like the case that they're making for Starlink is that, like, the toys are toys. Like, we are much like you can go buy Plants vs. Zombies toys, or you can go buy, Minecraft toys, or all sorts of fun extensions of these experiences that you have in games. These actually work in the game. And you can limit yourself just to the toys that you own, or you can enjoy the toys on a shelf, you can enjoy the toys thematically, and then still experience all the content that's in the game. But it is weird, and I think, and I don't mean to sound dismissive, but it's unusual compared to, a little sunrise there.
Our expedition allies have delivered a shipment of enhancements.
There we go. Got some free money. Based on how leveled up all of my collective groups are across all the planets that I've visited. Smacking into something there. Smacking into something else. What's the point of Amiibo? It's an excellent question. See, that's a legitimate question, actually, because it changes with every single game. You're like, wait, I have an Amiibo. Can I do something?
Uplink established.
I'm curious what, one of the things I don't know, I'm curious if, what specifically the Legion attacks. Because I know that they go after things on planets that you have previously been on, but, like, what things would I have to redo? I'm guessing it's the bases, primarily, that they'll go and try to recapture those bases. But it's like this thing, this decoding this ship, like, would I have to redo this again, or is that... So, I don't know. Maybe Damiani asks in the chat, apologies if I miss it if he does, or answers that. And fire weapon is fun because, unless it's a fire cyclops, Well, maybe it might. I don't know. I think it actually powers these dudes up. But it will
Legion forces on arrival.
put an EOE on something, so you can see this guy's burning. He's taking more damage. And ice will, do what ice does. It freezes things, slows them down.
Hack successful. Legion data.
There's also like
received
shadow
and
weapons or
processed.
something. Or I don't know. Let's change weapons. Let's do some weird stuff. What's this guy? What's this guy? What's these crazy guys? This is a short burst. Oh, this is kind of more of a shotgun. Ooh, I kind of like that gun, actually. A big blast of percussion there, knocking some stuff back. Yeah, good for dislodging, good for mining. Fun. Again, I've just bothered attaching all of my mods to these things, and they are leveled up. So maybe when they level up to their max level, maybe I'll start to experiment with other guns. But sometimes I can be one of those if it ain't broke types of gamers. I'm just like, I'm okay. Daniel Bloodworth, talking about Forza in chat. We're just clearing up. It's time to talk reviews, baby. We're just clearing up all the projects that we're working on. All the review questions that you might have. See this big kind of like Milky Way thing rotating up around the planet. Surprised your character isn't reacting to the G-forces. Yeah, they have... if you see the character in the bottom left will react, so if you can see, once I get into combat, see, like, now he's in combat mode, so now he's like, alright, I'm fighting. And, like, when I first saw that, I was like, oh, cool, he's reacting to what I'm doing. Not really. He's reacting to kind of the mode I'm in, but not like, actually every move. And the lip sync is certainly not synced. They kind of do that general mah, 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 when they have something to say.
That weapon's doing crazy damage. Keep going.
Extractor's defenses are down. Shoot the tower.
All right. I got it! I got him! Do you believe in the metal legs theory in Star Fox? I do not know the metal legs theory. I don't know if now is the best time for me to absorb that information. That sounds pretty complex. As somebody who has followed Michael Damiani when he has done Game Sleuth and Pop Fiction episodes on Star Fox, I know how deep that rabbit hole can go. Get over here.
Thank you, friend. I would have been fauna fertilizer without your help.
More boxes. There's a box over here too. Like it. I like it.
Anyone receiving this, I'm stranded. Help me!
Oh, so I saved him, but he's also banged up. Okay, buddy. There you go.
Thank you so much. Now I can return to my studies.
They love picking up materials so much. Okay. We're getting there, folks. There's another one of those. Let's do it. And again, I just don't want to be spoilery with the planets. So, again, the planets have a ton of variety, a lot of different... The activities on those planets, not so much with the variety, but the planets themselves are very interesting to look at, and have a lot of unique animals and weather patterns and foliage and stuff. So, more fun stuff to explore if you are curious. If you're interested in picking the game up. If that is one of your potential turnoffs right now, that you're just like, what? Do all planets look like this? They do not. And in fact, it's the first planet, so I think this is probably the most, not generic, but just kind of easy to absorb type of planet. type of planet that you would look at. You're like, yeah, that's an alien planet. Stop messing around with that thing, man. Just calm down. Fire Cyclops is really, really angry at that condenser. Alright. Whoa.
I've disabled it for now.
Oh, no, one more. And for some of you that are like, wow, this game's super repetitive, I am doing the repetitive things. You know, that's basically what this stream is. It's just me kind of picking up a lot of the loose ends, doing a lot of the activities that I didn't necessarily do directly when I was running through this planet. So, I thought it would be a good balance. You could kind of see me a little bit more leveled up, a little more capable. You don't have to sit through a bunch of cutscenes if you don't care about the story. But at the same time, it's not not spoilery. I'm not at a point in the game that's going to ruin anything for your experience. They send you to the second planet very early on, so they really encourage you in that story to go out and check new places. And it's really up to you to decide, okay, I'm going to stop here and search and run around for a little bit.
Uplink established. Breaching Legion data
I wish
core.
Levi was here. Don't say that.
Nearby to maintain connection.
When you say his name, he shows up. Levi is he who must not be named.
Legion incoming.
Come on now. Where are you gonna be? Where are you gonna be?
One down.
The game's planets are fun, and there definitely is a little loading trick that they do when you get to the planet, where there's like kind of a little like click when you finally enter the atmosphere. I don't think it is, you know, it is not quite as seamless as it feels in No Man's Sky, but just from a gameplay perspective, it's believable and fun. All right, let's get down to brass tacks here. How many more of these guys do we have left to do? Let's get that prime fight going. Apologies, I'm level 11. I'm gonna whoop that prime, but still gonna be fun. Wish Amanda was here so we could check out split screen co-op. Amanda is not here. Amanda is on the set of a motion picture that she is recording with her friends. She is doing a fully improvised feature film. You can follow her at Amanda_Troop if you want more details about that. They started filming today. I am very curious to see how the first day of filming goes. The actors in that film have no idea who they're going to be, what the plot is going to be, what is going to happen. They are going to make the whole thing up this week. And I think that is fascinating. And yeah, it's wild. I'm really curious to see how that pans out. I've never seen them do something like this before, but I've seen the group. She's with a group called Ripley Improv. You can also follow them on Twitter. Ripley from Aliens, Ripley Improv. And but I have seen them do long-term narrative improv that has gone on for more than an hour, and have been pretty blown away with some genres that they've done, and able to just make a story up from nothing. Pretty crazy. So fun. Ripley's a talented bunch of people. You've been exposed to Ripley a little bit. Some of you might know Jessica Lynn Verdi, who joined us for a couple Fiasconauts episodes. Oop, did I open that up? I did. She is one of the Ripleys. And can't remember if Kelly Lohman has been a part of something Easy Allies has done ever. Kelly Lohman is also very fun. And Jones, I want to hear you talk about the Rockstar Crunch 100 hours thing. Should I ask about it on a cup of Jones? Yeah, that is a topic a lot of people are discussing now. The ethics not only behind a company asking their employees to work for 100 hours a week, but specifically Rockstar doing that in anticipation of, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2, one of the biggest releases of the year. I think I might do that for my editorial this week, but feel free to ask on Cup of Jones. Definitely don't want to get into it now. There's a lot to unpack there. And a lot we don't know. I think no matter what, that conversation needs to be more of a hypothetical than Rockstar did this. Because, like, a person said a thing. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows how long this game is? Who knows what the other planets look like? Who knows how many hours you have to put in if you work at Rockstar? These are the questions we need to answer. You know? On one hand, like, I'm bummed as a Rockstar fan to hear things like that. On the other hand, I'm glad that, like, we're talking about it. You know, I'm glad that, you know, people aren't going to stand for that kind of stuff anymore, and a lot of people in the industry are hoping for change and willing to act for change, so it's a sticky widget. And like most important topics in this industry, not a great one to really find the answers to while we're playing a kids game on Twitch.
That's the right weapon for the job. Keep firing.
Bam. If you're stressed about it, or you're stressed about anything, it's fun to play a game like this where you're just running around making things explode. Okay, where's the Prime? I want to go, like, fight that guy. What do I... Maybe I already fought him on this planet. Hey, I might have already done that. I did all the spires. Didn't do that wonder, but that wonder is... Okay, I've done all the ruins but one, so let's get that ruin done. Sorry, might have already killed that dude on this planet. Apologies. Alright, here we go. I happen to have the right cannon for the job. It looks like ice is, got some ice chests that need opening here. Woo! I always think of Borderlands whenever I'm in one of these interiors. This is very, very Borderlands to me. Let's go to the other side. Blow up these other dudes. There's some pretty interesting color schemes. There's one planet that's really red. So you can see I kind of went through a little red patch over on the side there, but there's one environment I was like, whoa! Pyro City subbing, thank you so much. So you can't get out of the ship, no. You can see the pilots individually as toys, like they are their own toys if you want to manually apply them to your game. But and you see characters in cutscenes, and the cutscenes are pretty well done actually. Like, I just think that the general production value of this game is surprising. It's a little bit more than I was expecting. In-game, you cannot. That is definitely one thing that if I was to sit down with Ubisoft and the team that put this game together and talk to them about ways they could possibly improve it, it'd be fun to run around as a pilot. Be fun in co-op as well. To not necessarily maybe be in my own ship and maybe be a gunner on your ship. A little fun glitch there. You know, have some ships that have like gunners in the back, or maybe there's a way I can operate like a turret or something, or operate defenses in some base or something, so I can like watch the person I'm playing with zipping around and defending things, and I can like open up doors for them or turn things on. Lots of fun ways you can do co-op. Depending how long it takes me to get through this game, I might do a little co-op. Didn't I already get this guy? Oh, is that guy on the outside? Okay. I'm tripping. Clank. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Alright. So there it is for that. These little bases, we have done them all. At least on this planet. Pick up drill bit? Yes, I will. I haven't seen any, like, areas of gas canisters. Some of these areas have, like these guys, like, big fields of them. And it's fun because you can, like, blow them up, and then they blow up a lot of stuff near them, and like this, all this electrum comes flying in. But, don't see a lot of that here, so, okay. And we got a bunch of wrecks to do. Let's wrap up those wrecks, and I think we'll wrap the stream up. Not much of a crunch, I apologize. Whee! But I'm a little sleepy. Was up last night cutting this review. Again, if you haven't seen it, youtube.com/EasyAllies, or you can go to our Patreon and check that out as well. Or you can just hit it up on social media. Written by Mr. Michael Damiani, specifically reviewing the Switch version, talking about the Star Fox content, how that relates to the rest of the game. Lots of R-Wing gameplay if you want to see the R-Wing in action. And if you want to see this game on Switch. This game, visually for me on the PlayStation 4 Pro, was a little rough at points, and it made me sad watching the Switch version. I was like, aw, like, it does not look like this. So, obviously something to keep in mind. Like, the haze, when you go into a new planet, you can kind of see, like, right here, you can kind of see a little bit of the fuzz in the background. A little bit of the, you know, just to kind of, like, weaken the draw distance a little bit. A little more prevalent on the Switch version. Frame rate took a hit every now and then, but, like, still a beautiful game, still totally playable. And, I would imagine, just because, like, what I'm doing right now is very, like, I'm not, you know, work in my brain, the gray matter isn't being taxed right now, you know, I'm just kind of, like, flying around and blowing stuff up. I imagine really fun to do, portable. So if you want to take this game on the go, I think Switch might be a good call. Can I fast travel any of these dudes? I thought I could fast travel to those dudes. I guess not. Alright. But we will get them all. And then we will have this... We only have to discover 2 more species and 2 other samples of types of things, but we won't bother with that. That's something that you're going to have to look up on the internet to find, because I'm not going to go, like, running around looking for little shiny spots that I have not collected before. My allergies have performed admirably during this speed. Can I show flying out into space and back? Let's do it! Here we go. Space. Space. And then once you get into space, you can now do this. And this R1 kicks, triggers this. You have to hold it down. R1 is the same button that triggers you being able to fly or land on the surface of the planet. So I turn that off. And go back to the planet. Where is it? There it is. There's Haven. There's a planet that we're on. And we're going over there, so maybe we'll... The Equinox, the ship that's in front of us, that is our home ship. That is our Starship Enterprise. It's all good, dog. Admires my enthusiasm. Well, this is a fun game to play. I mean, it's low stress. And I think, you know, you have some games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey where it's like the stress will vary depending on if you're doing boss fights or if you're just like running around the world. But for me, I love no-stress games. I love the playsets in Disney Infinity. I love a lot of this stuff. See, to me, LEGO Dimensions is actually probably the most stressful of all the Toys to Life stuff because of the puzzles. Because there's so many puzzles in those games, you're like, what am I missing? It's like an adventure game. It's like a Maniac Mansion all over again. It's like, what weird item am I not putting in some specific spot that makes no sense? Whereas like Skylanders and Infinity and this, it's just like, take out my brain, put it on the shelf, blow some stuff up.
Legion
Fun.
reinforcements incoming.
One down.
And, you know, in a strange way, in a small way, I gotta be honest. I feel like I owe a little bit to the Toys to Life community. They've been very good to me. Specifically these companies that produce this stuff. You know, it's one thing to get a game sent to you. It's another thing when Ubisoft sends me the game and sends me like all of this stuff. Like, thank you.
Warning.
I'm excited to kick all of the allies out of my garage, get a studio, and then set a lot of the stuff back up on shelves around here. Showcase a lot of the fun Toys to Life stuff that I got. Because just like, if you were to get a figure of Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, or Geralt from Witcher, or Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, and put that up on the shelf, and every time you look over and you see that figure and you're like, God, Horizon Zero Dawn is such a good game, and I had so much fun playing that game. This is literally the ship that I'm in right now. That is literally the thing. And if I put it on a controller, it will make that appear in-game if I choose to play that way. And so, whatever connection you feel from looking at a poster or an image, or even just like the thumbnail on the desktop of your console or PC, you have these little moments of like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was fun. And I have that connection to Toys to Life games still. Can you do close-up cam and show off some of the toy bits? I did that before. Maybe I'll do that when we wrap up the stream. Just want to get the rest of these little guys. What's going on down there? Sorry, you're going to have to fend for yourself. No time. Brandon wants his garage back to do his arts and crafts. Is that so much to ask? Do you ever stop to think that ever since Easy Allies began, my arts and crafts time has dwindled considerably, and how that affects me and my emotions? Will there be a new trailer for the new studio? We will definitely give you more information. And again, if the weeks go by and there's no more studio updates, or the studio updates are few and far between, we will definitely take that into account and update our audience across all of our platforms. Here we are on Twitch. Obviously, first and foremost, our Patreon community is notified of these things because they are our most dedicated fan base. They are our bosses in a lot of ways. But obviously that stuff also comes to Twitch via our group stream a lot of the times, and YouTube via specific promo videos that we put up. But we hit that goal again for the month of October. Financially, we are more stable than we have ever been at Easy Allies. We have a lot of this money that went towards the studio goal. All of that is being saved. All of that is being budgeted towards productions that we can produce in the studio. And like Huber's game show is ready to go. Like, there's a lot of stuff at Huber's game show that we have invested in and come up with some really, really cool themes and assets that he's going to use. We've done everything for Huber's game show shy of actually building like sets, which we have diagrams for them, and we will be ready to go once we move into the studio and once we hit that goal and can start producing that show. But and we had a great meeting. We have a meeting at the end of every month. The October one's coming up, but we had a great meeting before we kicked off the month of October, specifically discussing what our sets look like, what elements we like, what shows we like, what they do that works, how we can apply that to our set as well. And there's one more wreck on this planet, and I don't know where it is. Where is this wreck? There it is. There you are. All right. I know this wreck is not much of a crunch. Maybe we'll do item crunch, and I'll switch back to the big camera and show you some of this beautiful stuff up close. Will Huber's show be patron exclusive? No.
Looks like you got some cores
yeah.
with you. I'll buy him
Michael
off you, no
Huber,
questions asked.
game show. Just think about that. Just really think about that. Not only just Huber hosting a game show, like it's one thing if you could just imagine like The Price is Right, and then all of a sudden it's Huber, and like he's got the long microphone and he's like, okay, how much is this dishwasher? Like that's fun, like that cracks me up just thinking about that. But Huber having his own game show, a game show built from the ground up for Michael Huber. Lots of little fun animals too that aren't a part of the ecosystem, little like insect bats or something flying around that thing, and every now and then you'll see something kind of scurrying across the land. You got this guy, unknown. Scan this guy. Maybe this is one of the things I haven't discovered. The species. A little scanning mechanic. Bam.
Partial scan complete. Scan more specimens to complete the DNA
I think I need
profile.
to scan 3 more of those, or 2 more of those. But
Uplink established. Breaching Legion data
Again, a very
core.
physical
Remain
scanning
nearby to
mechanic,
maintain
requires you to
connection.
move. Lots of strafing in this game.
Initiate hacking procedure. Be advised,
But those are fun.
procedure
And there's only like
has a
3 or
high
4 per
probability of
planet. So again, you're not
attracting
like,
Legion
oh,
reinforcements.
there's 10 of these things. Like, they just do a good job of managing, like, what you actually
Warning.
have to do on
Legion
each planet. And
reinforcements incoming.
even in the extra stuff, like how manageable that is. How accessible it is, how easy it is to find. And I think you can go to observatories, and I think there is a piece of equipment you can borrow from observatories that will help you find animals. That'll show you on the mini-map kind of the general, you know, direction of where animals are. Hi, you're in a real bad place right now. Actually, no, you're not a bad guy. You're in a bad place too. All of you, yeah, you should get out of this circle. Excuse me, sir. Yes, thank you.
Hack successful. Legion data received and processed.
Yeah. Later, planet. So again, as you can see on the left, the wonder that I have not gotten yet is, I think, level 20. And I think that's like kind of like end game gear. That like once you get to maybe the 20 is the cap. I don't know, but you get to level 20 and then you can go out and get the best gear in the game. There we go. Raba's Peak, level 20, the seat of life. I would get worked if I went to do that. Level 11 now, so I'm not too far away, but that could be spoilery. I don't necessarily want to do that. We're gonna do a toy crunch. I'm gonna fly back into space first. Spend a little bit more time in space. Where's the Equinox? There it is. Let's fly over there. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. It's fun to obviously not only play, well, really anything on Twitch, but specifically Toys to Life. It's fun to jump back into this genre. And fun to play a game that I did not review. I have not finished this game, but I have played a considerable amount of it, considering that the embargo is up, the game is not out yet, and I have put in a lot of hours into it. And as of now, as of Monday, we are allowed to stream it. So there are a lot of games that come and go that there are streaming embargo times that lift, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm already on to the next project, or today's Tuesday. Tuesdays are big crazy shoot days, and
Warning. Incoming outlaw hyperspace
all right, should
trap.
be a purple one or a red one? What are we gonna do here? Maybe not, because I'm close to this thing. Oh no, there it is. Oh no, oh, I totally messed it up.
We got a live one in the net.
All right, use. You can also customize in the options how gracious you want lock-on to be. So you can make it, if you have a kid that wants to enjoy this game but has a hard time, like, you know, tracking lots of objects flying by them in games like this, you can make the lock-on very generous. I think I have it on number 2 of 4, so I don't have it totally turned off, but I have it relatively low. And there is our ship. There's the Equinox. That is what we flew in here. That is the main center of this solar system, and as you can see, Sonatus is the planet that I was on. Karite, I think, is the planet that I was working on before. Haven is over there. That is the planet that we were just on, and there's all sorts of other places to go. But let's look at toys! Whoa, calm down. Yeah. Let's look at toys real quick, and we'll wrap it up. All right. Okay. And let me get... Hi, everybody. Let me get the sheet out so I can tell you what everything is. Again, I don't have every ship or every gun, but I do have quite a bit. So this is the Lance. So you can see I'm actually going to change the focus. Focus on this guy. There you go. There's the Lance. You can see these guns on the side. Beep. So these are the guns that come with the starter pack. This game is not in the starter pack. This is the ship that is in the starter pack. This is the Zenith. And these guys go on the side here. So there's the Zenith. So this is the guy that comes with the starter pack. The starter pack comes with him. Comes with Mason, who is the quote-unquote main character, if you will, but there's lots of characters in the game. Comes with this fire gun, this ice gun, and also this rapid fire gun that I was using a lot, that again, you can just like, boink, pop that off the side, put that back on. And I also have all of these extra guns that they sent us. When you buy extra ships, they come with, obviously, their pilot and a gun that is exclusive to that ship. You can also buy guns by themselves, and you can buy pilots by themselves. So here are all the extra guns that I received that you can tack on of their different elemental variants. And then here's Judge. Judge is very integral to the plot of the game. He's actually the alien that these people met that showed them how to go explore the fascinating outer realms of space, because they're from Earth. There's Judge's ship. And then finally, Judge's ship is called the Neptune. And then finally, this is the Nadir. And I believe this is flown by Razor LeMay, who's kind of one of your main points of contact that gives you information when you're on the missions. And there's Razor. Their arms out, ready to kick ass. And the guns go on different spots. Here you have one gun that actually just start attaching random guns to these things to make them look cooler. But you can, like, one gun is up on the top of the wing, whereas this other one's off to the side. So they have different variations of where the guns go when you attach them to the ship. And then finally, just by herself, like I said, I got some guns by themselves. I also got Shade, who is kind of like my RP character in a lot of games. I'm currently doing a D&D campaign where I'm playing a character very much like this, but the cloaked, elfish ninja character who obviously has her own story and her own crazy stuff going on. But yeah, there you go. See if I can do the best job possible of adjusting the focus so you can see me, so I can wrap this up. Thanks, everybody. We are Easy Allies. I'm Brandon Jones. Thank you for hanging out and watching me play Starlink. Again, not really getting into the story, just getting into the fun with these ships and the fun parts of combat, just kind of showing you how big planets are, all the different things that you can do on said planets. Then if you attack on some cutscenes, some story moments, some big boss fights, and obviously 6 other planets that are completely themed differently weather-wise and stuff, you can kind of get a sense of how big the game is and what you're going to be doing when you play it. So for those of you that might have been on the fence about this, hopefully this was educational. You can @ me, @TrailerJones, if you want to learn more about the game or ask specific questions. And of course, Mr. Michael Damiani, who actually finished the game, reviewed it, and you can see our review of Starlink, specifically the Switch version of Starlink featuring Star Fox and all of his friends. You can check that out at youtube.com/easyallies. Enjoy, and thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. Have a wonderful week.